No takesy backsies now.
We've only been here for an hour. I haven't even said anything.
I know. That's good.
It's okay.
Though.
It's okay.
Fun.
It's
Good conversation.
for sure. As always.
Oh, hi you guys on the YouTube stream. I'm getting a little buzzy already.
I'm feeling it.
Buzzy, buzz like a bee. What's up, guys? How are you? Let's bone. Okay. Oh, Jed the Saba. Speaking of, I got the PS5, which is one of the best investments I've ever made.
Yeah. Nice.
I've had it for a few months now.
Mm-hmm.
I used
you told me.
our boy from school.
Yeah.
Which God love that fucking guy. The guy's gone through some shit.
Oh man.
I got the Last Jedi video game, dude. It's one of the coolest fucking video games I've ever played.
Nice.
It's so cool. So that's definitely the last.
It's a fantastic Theo Vaughn wig.
I thought you were my mom for a second. I look so fucking dumb.
Yeah, I got I'm buying Moo's gaming PC off of him, so I got that at the house. So I've been playing some games. So.
I saw you got a new PC. It looked like.
Yeah, man.
Well, like shit, man. That thing looks nice.
It is nice. Yeah, it's older, but I mean, it's gonna do what I need it to do.
Well,
so.
yeah, that's killer, dude.
Yeah, man.
All right, you ready to record?
Yeah, dude. Let's fucking do this.
I look so fucking stupid. Welcome back to Bro Ohio Podcast. If you turn into the live stream on YouTube, I'm wearing a cat shirt. There's a cat button up. There's cats waving American flags, riding fucking rocket ships and fireworks. Welcome to Bro Ohio Podcast, a.k.a. the Cream Spot. I'm the delicious Nicolicious. I'm here with my best friend in the entire intergalactic world, universe, galaxy. I can't go much further than that.
I thought you were going to at least introduce me, man. Okay. I'm Rob Dog. Hey, guys, what's going on? Yeah. Hopefully you guys know that. If not, hi, what's going on? I'm the guy that wrote that intro song. I have a really small wiener.
No, don't be sorry on yourself. If you guys download the Zedge app on Android and type in...
What the fuck is that?
Careful. I legit...
Isn't he a DJ?
Yeah. If you download the Zedge app and you type in Brohio, you can download our intro for free and set it as your ringtone on your Android device.
Maybe one of these days I'll actually finish that song.
Maybe one day.
But probably not.
You'll grow up and quit being a fucking ding-dong and get an iPhone.
Yes.
I read this study about the IQ relation between people with Androids and people with iPhones, and people with Androids are dumber.
Is that true?
Yeah, I think so. Look it up, man.
They're definitely poorer.
They're definitely poor. I got this phone for free. Yeah,
oh, dude, I fucking had an Android for so long, and they always fucked up.
I had the original Moto Droid.
Yeah.
Like when Androids first came out, and I thought I was king dingling. I'm like, look at this motherfucker. I turn the thing down, and the fucking ringer turns off. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing.
Man.
Yeah. Well, this is going to be a little bit different episode. We have 20 pages of research.
Which is like twice as many pages that we usually have.
Yeah, something like that. So we're going to dive directly into the Patreon subscribers, and then we're going to start this story. We're not going to hanky-panky around. We're not going to we're not going to talk about stuff. We're not going to scissor on the table. We're going to get straight to business because this is a deep, dark, whining topic. They're turning the freaking frogs gay, Rob. I got a really beautiful flowing mullet wig that just matches my complexion today.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
Really feeling the flow. I feel a lot better with my teeth, too. That's the important part.
Oh, do you? Good. I was going to ask you about that, but...
Listen to this. I can make duck sounds again.
Yeah,
I
you couldn't do that before.
I do Donald Duck voice for Basil. Yeah. She loves it, and I haven't been able to do it.
You'd have been spitting out bones if you did that before.
Oh, yeah. I still got a bunch of bones falling out.
You got the one out, though, didn't you, that you were telling me about?
Yeah, but there's another one that's like, it feels like it's attached to my cheekbone. It's coming out now. Shit. So it's getting a little infected trying to come out. This fucking ding-dong dentist. And then our cat lawyer, Jess, she wrote us on Instagram. She said, yes, fellas, I do still listen.
Aww.
I will accept this case.
So I love her. Thank you.
I have a valid...
I didn't think she still listened. That's amazing.
In the court of civil claims or malpractice court. I don't know. I got to get in touch with the cat attorney. We're taking this guy for all he's fucking worth and the stupid fucking dog. We're taking everybody. We're taking them all down.
Wasn't she fucking jacked too?
Yeah, and she's done nothing but get even more jacked.
Oh my God.
She would beat the ever-loving fuck out of both of us.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
Yeah, and it's no need to even debate.
Good for her.
Well, let's say thanks for our new Patreon subscribers. Kyle Sims. Kyle, buddy, you got a good set of fucking dick suckers on you.
Wow.
Thanks, Kyle. Love you, buddy.
Wish I could say the same for Sean Lewis. Sorry, buddy.
Not very
Those pathetic little things.
Erica Garcia. I don't know much about you. I've been told that you smell wonderful.
Ooh,
so
that's the best.
people that smell, listen, you are 100% more likable as a human if you smell good.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
If you go through your we just got to keep going. Just take care.
Smell's a huge thing.
Take bath. Use cologne. I use Sauvage, the Johnny Depp cologne.
Oh, okay.
It's good stuff.
Yeah.
Good, powerful stuff.
Yeah. What do I use? I don't remember.
Curve.
I used to back in the day.
Jupe.
I think I use
Cool water.
I used that too back in the day, man. That was the drugstore days.
I used to wear my dad's cologne. And I walk past my mom and her fucking nipples would get hard. Settle down, bitch.
I think I wear some Dolce & Gabbana stuff.
Yeah.
OGK dog. Thanks, buddy.
My mom's going to call me. You're talking about my fucking goddamn nipple. Be all right, Mom. Ben Erdrich. Ben, buddy, you're the best. Thanks so much.
I'm glad I got this one. Jurassic cock.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
It's
Congrats on your big cock, and I'm
yeah.
sure you got tiny balls.
Mr. Brickzilla.
Brickzilla.
And we have the other half of the Endrich family, Amanda Endrich or Endrich, Endrich. I don't know how you pronounce that. That's German.
Endrich.
Yeah. Stop it.
Rick.
Nein.
Endrich.
Stop.
Endrich.
No. We're gonna get fired, dude.
You fucking Nazis.
This is already gonna be a bad one that gets us. We're gonna get this. This one might get us removed from YouTube.
Okay.
Which sucks.
We'll see.
Yeah. This is the next one's yours. No.
Oh, shit.
Yeah,
no, it's not. I did Jurassic. Oh, yeah. Never mind. Okay. Sorry. Yeah. Saucin Dawson.
Cool name.
That is really good.
Ted from TED Talks. Thank you, Teddy. Loved your Teddy Ruxpin series. Thank you so much.
Clitoris Rex.
Jurassic Cock.
Jurassic
Clitoris Rex. We got them all, dude.
There is no way those two aren't friends.
There gotta be. Dinosaurs
if not, they need to meet.
For real. Yeah. And now we have
Oh, you get a fun one too.
Brittany Nipples. I'm sorry. Brittany Butts. Brittany Butts. I'm really sorry about your last name. There's no way to sauce that one up, girl. Sorry about that one. But Brittany Butts.
Her little picture is attached too, so I feel like that is her legit last name.
That's her OnlyFans name.
Oh man, that's a good one.
Brittany Butts. Because she poops like. I found this video the other day of this lady that farts in bags and mails it to people.
Oh hell yeah, sign me up.
So I bought 3 of them.
So I bought her whole inventory.
I fucking swallowed a popcorn bag full of fart gas. It was only like $13 per bag.
Hell yeah, man, that's a good deal. This is steal. Lisa Paradise.
That's
Paradis?
definitely a porn.
That's a porn name.
Pornographer actress.
Yeah, it's not Paradise, but it looks like it's Paradise, so it's Paradise.
Thanks,
Lisa.
Thanks, Lisa Paradis. Parasitic. Thank you, Lisa.
Parasite.
Matt the Mailman Shelton. Thank you,
Ooh.
Matt the Mailman Shelton.
Congrats on your Fed job.
I talked a few months ago about I'm getting new neighbors, and the 2 homosexual fellas that were really excited to hang out with me when they were looking at the house. Well, they didn't move in. But But a nice young couple moved in.
Okay.
So it's really stressful getting new neighbors, man, because you don't know what they're going to be like. But they're really cool, super nice. Man, I took the guy some bourbon. Said, here, buddy. Housewarming gift. He said, fuck yeah. So you drink bourbon? He said, nope. I said, all right.
Hopefully you didn't spend a lot of money on
it. He said, I'm going to start now. I gave him Willet, which is a hard one to find.
That's not too bad,
It's
yeah.
a good first buy. He's saying, it's something I've been wanting to get into. And they got a border collie too.
Not only is it expensive, but you get fucking drunk.
You get really you get soused.
Yeah, man.
All right. Well, it's that time. We're going to start the episode after this brief pause from our Spreaker advertising. And we're back. How cool was that?
Wow,
How fucking cool was that?
the power.
A little Oh, sorry. I stopped recording there. I fucking.
It's amateur hour.
I meant to hit marker, but I hit stop. Okay. This case, the Franklin child scandal, and I'm so sorry that we're skipping over the funny articles and the back and forth banner, but this is an episode that's going to take a long time.
Yeah, Nick went above and beyond on this one. Usually we're at like 12, 13 pages. We're usually stretching that out, and this is a good solid 20 pages. So Nick,
it is.
Nick killed it.
But here's the thing: is I started to get into this story, and you know how I feel about kids getting hurt, kids getting touched.
Fuck it, I hate it.
And it's bad stuff. Okay, it's really bad stuff. And I started to get into this story, and I saw how much it tied into what we're dealing with right now in the United States. This fucking Jism Lane Maxwell is going away for probably not long, but she's been convicted of literally hurting children.
Dude, that whole thing drove me fucking crazy. That the weeks prior to that, you couldn't watch the news without that fucking kid who shot those people to be on the news 24/7.
Kyle Rittenhouse?
Kyle Rittenhouse or whatever his name is.
Yeah.
But then Ghislaine gets up, fucking, you don't hear anything. There's a Twitter account that was live tweeting everything that was happening, and they got banned. They got taken off of Twitter.
Yeah.
They got shut down. We don't know anything about it. And it tells you so much shit.
But she was convicted.
She was convicted, right? But
yeah. There's a lot to be told.
Yeah, but then so much more that we don't know.
And just like that doctor that was on Rogan last week, the vaccine doctor, the guy's got he's been cited in hundreds of medical reports, and he said, don't get your kids vaccinated. And there's too much of a protein spike. It will wreak havoc on their organs. The guy's he's created vaccines himself. He's been cited in all these hundreds of medical reports. He's published. He's got all of these accolades. But the moment that he started saying, don't get this vaccine for your children, and I'm not for or against the vaccine, but I am for knowing the facts. I'll fucking say that right now.
Oh, yeah.
He said, don't give this vaccine to your children. It will fuck up their organs. There's a protein spike. The moment he started saying that, erased from you. The episode was removed from YouTube.
Oh man!
Twitter deleted his Twitter account, and he wasn't even really he wasn't parading what he learned about the vaccine, just because what he said on the Joe Rogan show. And people were starting to say, okay, this guy's a doctor. He's got a lot of accolades. He's smart. He's researched. I'm gonna start looking into this. And the internet said, no, this guy's got to go away. He knows too fucking much. And that's why I don't believe anybody that says anything, because everybody's fucking lying, Rob.
Oh, for sure.
Nothing's real. Fauci came out this week and said, all right, we need to stop worrying about the numbers so much. We need to start worrying about the hospitalization. Stop worrying about that daily number, because Ohio, we're getting 20,000 new cases a day.
Dude.
If we keep it up, we can get everybody infected by July 4th. We'll have it, be done with it.
I feel so bad for anyone in the medical field right now.
Oh, dude, it's bad.
Their lives are fucking awful, and I thank you guys, immeasurably.
Yeah, from both of us. Thank you so much to the medical community. We have doctors that listen for whatever fucking reason. We have nurses. We have all kinds of medical professionals, x-ray technicians. We have all kinds of people.
You guys make tons of money, but you're still not paid enough. That's it.
No, you're not. And just, thank you for what you do every day. You get up and do your thing. I would fucking complain. I would quit.
Oh, hell yeah.
I would go work at Arby's because they have the meats.
I got friends that are nurses, and it's fucking horrible right now for them and for everybody that works in the hospitals.
Just gonna keep
it's bad. It's rough. Yeah.
But in my industry, nothing's changed. In Rob's industry, nothing's changed.
Nothing at all.
We get up and go to work every day.
Yep.
Do this podcast. But in 1993, a film crew from the United Kingdom traveled to Omaha, Nebraska, of all places.
Shit. What the fuck has ever happened in Omaha?
Do you know what they were going there to do? They
I
were
don't.
going to document a pedophile ring.
Yeah, that's good document.
Because that's all we do here in America is eat cheeseburgers and have sex with young children. If you listen,
they're gonna say make documentaries.
No. The project was indeed funded by the Discovery Channel, which means, in my mind, makes it a little more, I guess, plausible.
Okay.
It holds a little more weight for me, this story. The filmmakers were discovering while they set out to make this documentary, they're going through their research, they're going through their interviews, they're talking to people. They start discovering more and more the deeper that they go, and they start uncovering a web of shit that they can't turn back from. I think that no one really realized the infinite amount of dastardly deeds that were happening in this pedophile ring. I know that one of the hardest things we talk about are when bad things happen to children, when bad things happen to, I guess, vulnerable humans, and this is very much one of those. This is not. There's no part in this episode like turn your head. That kind of. We've had episodes where you're like, oh my god.
Yeah. Why are they talking about that?
But there's a lot of profound information in this episode. As comedic as we are, and as funny dudes as I remember in my mom and dad's house when we first got the neighbors across the street got Wi-Fi way before we did. I sat in the window of our attic and jerked off to a PSP like a cat in a window in the middle of the night.
I did that to Nintendo Wii, man.
Vigorously masturbated to their Wi-Fi. Now, how does that tie into the story? It doesn't, Robert. There's no tie-in at all whatsoever to this research. But
hey, there's some new nuggets of information for you.
Yeah, just keep that in mind next time you roll past my mom and dad's house and you look up in that window and be like, that's where fat boy jacked off is right there. But they're just uncovering a lot of horrible things, and I think that the things that they were uncovering were real. The children that they were finding, that they were talking to, were being abused. And they would quickly find out that there were people out in the darkness that were kind of privy to what they were doing, privy to their investigation. There are people in high places, if you know what I'm talking about, politicians, people with money. These investigators for the Discovery Channel, they started to turn over stones, and they're finding people under these stones that could not have their names on a newspaper that says so-and-so connected to Omaha, Nebraska, Franklin Credit Union pedophile ring.
Yeah.
There's some big names in here that we've talked about before with no fucking surprise here on some of these names. But the filmmakers uncovered a vast operation functioning throughout the country that supplied children to the wealthy and political establishment for purposes of molestation, drug trafficking, and blackmail. And we've heard a lot about the blackmail before, and we've talked about Bohemian Grove, we've talked about the Pizzagate stuff, we've talked about the fucking cabinets from Wayfair.
So here's my question, and this is a question to you, what you think the answer is. I mean, obviously we have, as normally functioning brains as we possibly can have. What do you think it is about the elite and the rich that attracts them to children so much?
Oh, power, humiliation. So I think that you and I...
Because they break tons of laws every single fucking day that they do business. So I mean, like, obviously the thing of them doing something that they're not supposed to do, it's not that big of a deal. It can't be that, because they do that every single day regardless.
But in my opinion, so the first time that you started to lust after women or men or whatever I don't know what you're into.
Yeah, don't assume.
Don't assume anything. But probably my first search term was probably like big titties, probably. Of all of the shit that I could look,
nipple,
hot chicks naked, or probably like nude women is probably what I looked up.
Mm-hmm.
To think about the transgression since then of the things that I watch on the internet.
It's been a slippery slope.
It's been wild, man. It's been wild. I watched a guy shove a fucking gallon of milk up his ass the other day. Not my easiest fat, but I got where I was trying to go. Much is the same with them, man. They're probably rolling into the club on a Friday night with a big bag of fucking booger sugar in their pocket, and every fucking chick in that club, not every single one of them, but there's probably women throwing themselves at these guys' hands and feet because they got some nose chalk in their pocket, and they got a wad of cash in the other pocket. It becomes no longer a challenge. It's something.
Maybe, yeah, that makes sense.
You know, at one, I love my wife. I'll fucking suck on her butthole right now. But I think at one point we had sex for like 14 straight nights. And on the 15th night, I'm like, I got to take a night off. I got to take a fucking break.
I'm putting chapstick on my dick.
My boner was a lot harder the first night than it was the 15th night.
Oh, yeah.
And you're like, fuck, what's wrong with me? And it's not that I don't enjoy her any less. Sometimes you're just like, all right, I got to recharge the jets for a day. But these guys, they're dabbling in whoever is out there, whether it be a man or a woman, the most beautiful man you've ever seen, the most beautiful woman you've ever seen. And there's no challenge. She's like, oh, fucking Mitt Romney, I want to suck your fucking old saggy balls. And he's like, all right. And he just lifts his little wiener up. She starts sucking on his balls. There's no challenge to that whatsoever. So it starts to progress from there. They start to dabble, like, okay, maybe.
And I feel like it also might be one of those things where it's like, if you're going to get caught for something, you know, embezzlement's one thing, but I mean, fuck a kid.
Yeah, no, I don't know. Not for me.
I'm not condoning it. I'm just saying they're like, if you're going to fucking go out, because I mean, it's.
Yeah, go hard the motherfucking paint.
Yeah, just fucking do it.
And then also what I believe is just as plausible as my first opinion, all of these guys roll in circles. Jeff Epstein didn't do the things that he did by himself.
No, not at all.
He had Bill Clinton with him, Tom Hanks, whoever was with him. I don't know who was with him.
Yeah.
But these guys roll in circles, much like the Bohemian Grove, where they go to this place in California, the cremation of character. They do all this weird shit for a weekend, and then they bust in these boys, and they all fuck the shit out of them. The reason why they all fuck the shit out of these little kids is so they all have dirt on one another.
I agree with that, yeah.
George Bush Sr., who we're going to talk about in this episode, he, whenever he was an up-and-coming politician when he was 30-some-odd years old, he sees, they say, how about you come hang out in the Skull and Bones Club, like whenever he was in college. Or, how about you come to the Bohemian Grove? And he goes, and they say, you're here now. This is what we do. And the only way you can prove your loyalty is to get your dick sucked by this little fucking black kid right here. And that's what George Bush has a safe face. He's like, God, I got to get my dick sucked by this kid real quick. And there's been firsthand accounts, people that have bared witness that say they watched George Bush Sr. have his penis filleted by a young black male. Now, did that happen? Who knows? I wouldn't suck that dick if it was attached to your body and your mom was pushing, Rob. I wouldn't have anything to do with it, buddy.
Man, I want to be rich more than anything, but I definitely have a line where I need to have it drawn. I'm not fucking any kids.
They're like, you're going to suck his dick. I'm like, can't I just let him poop on me or something? Because I don't want to suck his dick. But these guys have these powerful circles, and there's no trust. These guys are already untrustworthy people to begin with, because to be that fucking rich.
Yeah, especially if you're like a politician, you're untrustworthy.
You
right?
Gotta be willing to bury the dagger at any second in anybody's back, and that's the way they've got their fucking rocks off. All the way up until that point is because they're not afraid to do things that make them distrustful. So, in order for them to say, all right, we all trust each other. We're all going to get our dick sucked by a fucking 10-year-old today. And they're all like, fuck yeah, I'm getting my dick sucked. But and I think they do this shit. Yeah, it is whack. It's whack as fuck.
Whack.
Think about the kid sucking the dick. About all the fucking trauma that kid's going through.
For sure.
People are probably tuning in thinking, this guy's got a mullet and a cat fucking Hawaii shirt. Why am I taking advice from this guy? But check my jacket. I've been here, but I've been doing this for a long time. Yeah. I'm well researched in this stuff. I know what's going on. Yeah, they started to uncover and that was the part that I was citing when I hear the blackmail. I wanted to highlight that the blackmail. They do the shit so they can blackmail one another.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
you're saying. I thought you were saying black male.
Earlier I meant a black kid.
Yeah. Okay.
Now I'm talking about blackmail. Like, you know,
I was like, what blackmail are you talking about? You talking about the little kid?
No, There's no blackmail. There is blackmail.
Gotcha.
But there's no black male at this point.
Okay.
There was momentarily.
Good. Thank you for the clearance.
The filmmakers were in the final editing stage of the documentary, and they were completely blown away by the things that they had found out during the course of their investigation.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
When the Discovery Channel stepped forward and said, and pulled the plug on this fucking thing, to this day, well, not to this day, it's been leaked since then. For the longest time, many decades, the documentary went unaired. The film told the story of Lawrence King, or Larry King, is not the fucking white dude from CNN.
Okay, I was like, damn.
This is a different Larry King, and an alleged cover-up that reached the highest levels of big business in the United States government. And that takes us to Boys Town.
Oh,
And
no thanks. I'm good.
That was, my mom and dad were like, all right, you can either go to fat camp or you can go to Boys Town. And I remember I pooped and my butt burned that day. So I said, oh, Dad, I think I want to go to fat camp. And he said, yeah, you probably don't want to go to Boys Town.
Yeah, definitely not.
But then we're going to talk about Boys Town now. For all intents and purposes, if I were to start a camp where my sole intent and purpose was I wanted to rape young boys, I would probably call it Boys Town. So nobody was suspicious.
Oh, yeah. You want people to know what they're getting whenever they get there.
Boys Town, 2 words, also called Boys Town, 1 word.
Thanks for clarifying.
Yeah, sure, anytime. Was founded in 1917 in Douglas County, Nebraska by
Holy shit.
Catholic priest.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Okay, guys.
That explains a
This is a
lot.
little stereotypical
All
at
right.
this point.
All right.
His name was Edward Flanagan. The project started as a home for orphans, abandoned, neglected, and abused boys and girls. The foster home's popularity brings in much money. This is where already the episode starts to just, you're like, what is going on here? The foster home's popularity brings in very much money. 1/3 of its contributions are from public donations, and it's believed to hold a cash reserve of over $500 million. A fucking summer camp for orphans. It's a 500, and this is old too. It's considered by many to be the richest square mile in the U.S., and as recently as 2016, their Form 990 tax returns, Boys Home has a total net asset of over $1 billion.
Damn. That's $1 billion with a B.
There is no one in Omaha, Nebraska worth $1 billion.
Damn.
But this Boys Town, this home for orphan boys, orphan girls. Yeah, God, I gotta take a step back for a second. This is a home for kids that don't have homes.
Yeah, those boys are selling a lot more than that stale ass popcorn.
You ever talk to somebody in
Yes.
civil service? Yeah, I talked to somebody before. And a caseworker, a social worker.
Mm-hmm.
Those people don't make money, Rob.
No,
Unfortunately, they do not make a lot of money.
They do it for the job, man.
Those motherfuckers do it because they want to change the world.
They do want to help.
I commend them for that. They don't make a lot of money. And any time a kid gets plucked from a home and put inside of a foster home, they go to a house. Usually foster homes are they're like, we got Kool-Aid and pickles in this motherfucker. They go to poor places.
For sure.
People,
Yeah.
For an orphanage or a foster home to have net assets of over $1 billion.
Yeah, that's wild.
In Omaha, Nebraska, and you gotta think about all of the stink attached to this place. It makes you think. And Rob Dog, I've said it once. I've said it 1,000 times in this stupid goddamn podcast.
Where there's smoke, there's fire.
Motherfucking place is smoking.
There's a fucking fire going.
There's a goddamn fire. That's what we're talking about. Lawrence Larry King. And this guy, we're going to call him Larry King for the episode.
It's not that Larry King.
He was a black Republican with the most gorgeous Wookiee feathered hair I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah, let's see him. I want to take a look at this.
He had a really nice Lawrence Larry King. Oh, yeah. He had and they won't even show this dude on Google, which is fucking crazy, right? So I put this in on Google, and he doesn't even come back. You got to go to
It is a bunch of pictures of some little Hispanic
Oh,
kid
no, there
boy.
he is right there.
Oh, is that him?
Yeah, look at that hair.
Oh, hell yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah, buddy. That's some good-looking hair.
Oh, yeah.
So Lawrence Larry King, he was the leader of the Black Republican Council, and he was very prominent politician back in the 1980s. He was very big and an up-and-comer in the Republican Party back then. 10 years prior, King was brought to Omaha to save a failing credit institution. The name of this credit union, it was a bank, but it was called the Franklin Federal Credit Union, and it was his position at the Franklin Credit Union that led to his close ties with Boys Town, the orphanage that we talked about just moments ago. Boys Town held quite a few valuable accounts in Larry King's credit union. At the time, Larry had a $17,000 salary working at the Federal Union, the credit union. He drove a $70,000 Mercedes. He spent $10,000 a month on limousines. He had a credit card with a limit of $1 million. He had a 4-story house on 26 acres near the Missouri River. He had a floral fucking flower bill alone that was $146,000 over a 13-month period.
He's doing this on a $17,000 salary. Where the fuck are we going wrong, man?
You motherfucking flowers. I'm gonna get your ass flowers. Don't look over here. I'm gonna get your motherfucking out. I couldn't buy $146,000 worth of flowers.
How does one get a credit card has $1 million on it with that salary?
Yeah.
This is the 80s, man. This is like the Wild West.
Yeah, but he was driving a 70K Mercedes, had a piece of property that was worth well over $1 million. He spent $146,000 on flowers, Rob.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
And the people that try and defend this case, oh no, I wasn't doing bad shit. Well, yeah, he was. Yes, he was.
Man.
He was fucking buttering somebody's biscuit, buddy. He was slobbing on somebody's knob. I always have this reoccurring nightmare that some rich man's gonna corner me and he's gonna be like, I'm gonna make you suck shit out of my ass.
How much?
This guy was sucking shit out of somebody's ass. He was getting paid for it.
All right.
As an act of goodwill, Larry King employed many of the boys from Boys Town, where they took minor roles cleaning up the bank, shuffling files, and toting records about. And I tell you, any bank you go to isn't going to have orphan boys running around doing the paperwork and shoveling you. Hey, Timmy, can you go put this money in the safe for me? It doesn't happen, dude.
Yeah, I've seen some pretty sketchy businesses before, but I've never seen anything like that.
Yeah, it's not happening. The community recognized the many boys at the bank as King's contribution to the city. They said, this man, he's such a pillar of this community. He's giving these homeless children jobs. And they all thought the world of him. But all that was changed in 1986 when Paul Bonacci approached a school official claiming King had sexually abused him and many other boys at the Boys Town. Now, Paul Bonacci is going to be one of the most important figures of this entire episode. He's the whistleblower on all this.
Good
and after he blew the whistle, a lot of other people started coming forward. But Paul Bonacci was one working at the bank. But Paul Bonacci also stayed at Boys Town, and he went to one of his administrators at school and said, "Look, I'm getting fucking abused. I'm getting moved all over the country. I have to go to these parties where they've do disgusting acts to us. I have to perform sexually for these old men. They're raping us. They're pissing on us. They're doing all this shit, and I can't make it stop." So Paul Bonacci went to his teacher and administrator and said, "These are the things that are happening to me, but this motherfucker Larry King is the head of it all." And the school said, "Well, okay, we'll check into it." And Larry King was thought of as like this great political figure in the community. They said, there's no way he's doing this stuff. But you think that it smells fishy now. It gets even more fishy.
Sweet.
According to Paul Bonacci, Larry King used boys as young as 10 years old to work these sex parties. And while the 10-year-olds were not subjected to having sex, the 10-year-olds were subjected to, they would have to use sex toys on one another. They would have to put on sex acts and sex shows where they would use these sex toys on one another while these fucking nasty, disgusting old men watched them perform these acts on one another. Yeah. 10 years old, Rob. We both have close to 10-year-olds in our house, man.
Mm-hmm.
To think about something like that makes my blood boil. And I hope...
I have a 10-year-old.
It's bad stuff, man.
Yeah, it's crazy.
This was going on from 1978 through 1982. This was not the first time that King had been accused of such behavior. King had been dogged by accusations of pedophilia before. One of his first accusers, Euclid Lisa Washington, which I reached out to on Facebook. She didn't return my fucking message, so fuck her. She had made similar claims against Larry King earlier that year. Euclid had been adopted by King's relatives, Jarrett and Barbara Webb, in the 1970s. Her case came to the forefront in 1985 after it was noticed that she continually ran away from her foster parents' home. Initially reluctant to disclose information about her foster parents, she finally recounted a remarkable tale, telling authorities that her time with the Webbs, which was Larry King's relatives, was fraught with pain and neglect. According to Euclid, she and other adoptive children living with the Webbs were routinely beaten. She also says that at the age of 10 years old, Jarrett Webb began sexually abusing her. The Nebraska Department of Social Services took the case, and it was stunning how many times throughout the investigation that Boys Town was mentioned during the testimony of Euclid. So Euclid was pretty much property of Larry King before he was just given to his family, given to these relatives. But during her testimony, she kept referencing Boys Town. She said, there's bad shit going on there. I'm not the only one that's going through this stuff. These guys and girls at Boys Town are being sexually abused. All the things that have happened to me are happening every day, all the time, to all these children at Boys Town. So the Nebraska Department of Social Services said, what about this Boys Town? What is it about this Boys Town? We keep hearing about this Boys Town. It was stunning how many times that it popped up. So inevitably, the Nebraska Department of Social Services had to do something about it. But Euclid, was administered a polygraph test about all of the things that she claimed. Guess what, Rob?
What?
She passed the polygraph with flying colors. And in most instances, I wouldn't say that a polygraph holds weight, but in the instance of right now, I'm going to say, hey, this polygraph probably holds weight.
For sure.
At this point, the floodgates opened up. Several personal accounts of horrific abuse came from various people from all over the community. The Department of Social Services was kind of overwhelmed at this point with all the people coming forward to say, hey, I was at Boys Town, or I had an incident related to Boys Town where I was sexually abused. Euclid says the abuse did not end with her adoptive father. Supported by her sister, she detailed a massive child sex, homosexual, and pornography ring run in Nebraska by Larry King. She described how she was regularly taken to Washington, D.C. by plane with other youths to attend parties hosted by Larry King. She explained that the parties involved many prominent people, including businessmen and politicians. She told how she was first sent out of state for a. She retold the story of her first out-of-state trip for a pedophilic party. This is her quote. She said, "The Webb said I was going out of town for the weekend. Not going wasn't even a choice. I would have gotten beaten. We didn't have choices. We did what we were told to do. On the 2 trips I was on, Boys Town kids were on the planes. The boys knew they were going to be used for sex, but it didn't bother them because they were being taken care of with clothes and money and access to cars. I want to say the parties were elegant, champagne was served, and the older men were wealthy and dressed very nicely. Money was exchanged, and the men would leave with their boys." And throughout my research here, I did kind of start to get the vibe that a lot of these, when we think about kids, you think about 8, 9, 10-year-olds. Mm-hmm. A lot of these kids were 16, 17-year-olds that were right, like she said, being offered money, cars.
Still illegal.
Highly illegal.
For sure.
But if I'm 10 years old, Rob, and someone says, suck that dick, I'm like, what the fuck? How do you suck a dick? But if I'm 17, they're like, you like that Porsche over there? And I'm like, fuck yeah, I like that Porsche. You gotta suck that old bastard's balls until he comes on your head.
Bro, I drove a fucking 91 Cavalier with bullet holes in it. Dude, I would have sucked the shit out of someone's asshole.
Yeah, dude. I'm like, if I do it good enough, can I do something extra?
My fucking car had bullet holes in it, dog. I called them speed holes. I would have fucking did it.
Aerodynamic. And that's just kind of goes along with everything here, that some of these kids were older. While they were being abused, they might have been against it in their own mind, but outwardly they were quiet. I shouldn't say outwardly. they didn't speak up because of the things they are being provided, which doesn't make it any more right. Sorry, I gotta get a little drag.
Yeah, man, have at it. I'm already 2 in.
You want more?
I think I do.
You want the redemption?
I think I do.
It's good, isn't it?
It is really good. I like
It's
it.
a good drink.
Enjoy it. I want to look at the label too.
It's she said years later, a 50-page handwritten report was penned by the Department of Social Services. Oh my God, this is fucking wild. This is a handwritten report by Julie Walters, who was a investigator for the Department of Social Services. She prepared a 50-page handwritten report that wasn't released till years later after all this shit happened. But in her report, she says, March 25th, 1986, I met with Kathleen Sorensen and Lisa for about 2 hours in Blair, Nebraska, questioning Lisa for more details about sexual abuse, which Lisa was one of the young ladies that were linked to the abuse at Boys Town. Lisa admitted to being used as a prostitute by Larry King when she was on trips with his family. She started going on trips when she was in the 10th grade. Besides herself and Larry, there was also Mrs. King, their son, Prince, and 2 to 3 other couples. They traveled in Larry's private plane. Lisa said that on these trips, let me move I'm fucking too blind to read that far away.
Yeah, man. I got a computer. You can move it over there.
Lisa said that at these trip parties, which Larry hosted, she sat naked, looking pretty and innocent, and guests could engage in any sexual activity they wanted, except for penetration was not allowed with her. Lisa said she first met Vice President George Bush Sr. at the Republican convention that Larry King sang the national anthem at. He said, I'm going to bring all these fine-looking teenagers, but you boys got to let me do something I've been wanting to do for a long time.
You've been bothering them for so long about us wanting to sing the national anthem.
Oh, Larry.
We already know, Larry.
We want the girls, but we don't want you to sing. Well, I guess you're not getting the girls, are you? So he sang the national anthem at this fucking Republican convention. And at the party, Lisa saw no women. She said her makeup was perfect. I'm sorry. Lisa said at this party, there were no women. The makeup put on the boys was so pristine that the men at the party had to reach between the legs of whatever child that they wanted to feel the genitalia to see if it was male or female.
Just like in Taiwan.
Just like in Taiwan. Just like James Charles.
Dude, I don't know about him.
He does good makeup though, doesn't he?
Fuck yeah, man.
Yeah, dude's hot.
He's a hot dude. Yeah, he's a fucking twink.
He grabbed my wiener, I'd be like, hey! Hey!
Pay my rent?
Yeah, gay. I meant gay. I'm gay. That's what I meant. I didn't mean hey. I meant I'm gay.
Hey, sisters.
My kids love him, dude.
You got girls. That makes sense.
No,
if my boys did.
Hey, get the fuck out of there.
Hey, what are you boys doing?
Get out. Quit touching each other's dicks. Come here and touch my dick. Yeah, the polygraph test, which Lisa took, only centered around sexual abuse committed by Jarrett Webb. At that time, she had only general things about Larry's trips, i.e. where they went, etc. She only began talking about her involvement in prostitution during those trips on March 25th, 1986.
Ooh.
Lisa also accompanied Mr. and Mrs. Larry King and Prince on trips to Chicago, New York, and Washington, D.C., beginning when she was 15 years old. She missed 22 days of school.
Damn.
Oh, fucking God. And it's not like, I heard she missed 20. These people conducting the investigation went to the school and said, how many days has she missed? And the school says, Lisa has missed 22 days of school this year. If you or I decided, hey, my kid's going to miss 22 fucking days this year, cops would be at your house.
I probably missed close to that my senior year.
Probably, and that explains a lot.
I had to do community service.
Neither one of us can do trigonometry.
Fuck no.
What's trigonometry? I can do trigonometry. You shoot bullets all the time.
And I'll do math.
Yeah,
is that the same?
No, today some guy works like, what's 25 times 12? And I just stared at him like, well, I look like a fucking calculator or something. He was waiting for me to give the answer. I said, I don't fucking know, dude. He says 300. I said, yeah, I knew that. It's all right.
I was trying to do the math in my head while you were doing. I was going to say the answer, but you did it first.
At some point of the parties, At some point of the parties, there are just men, as was the case at the party George Bush attended. Older men and younger men in their early 20s. Lisa said that she had been that sodomy had been committed at these parties. At these parties, Lisa said every guest had a bodyguard, and she saw some of the men wearing guns. All guests had to produce a card which was run through a machine to verify who the guest was, in fact, who they said they were, and then each guest was frisked down before entering the party. She indicates that in September or October of 1984, when Lisa Washington was 14 or 15 years of age, she went on a trip to Chicago with Larry King and 15 to 20 boys from Omaha, Boys Town. She flew to Chicago on a private plane. The plane was large and had rows of 2 seats apiece on either side of the interior middle aisle. She indicates that King got the boys from Boys Town, and the boys worked for him. She stated that Rod Evans and 2 other boys with the last name of Evans were on the plane, but could not recall the names of the other boys.
Dang.
The boys who flew to Chicago with Washington and King were between the ages of 15 and 18. Most of the boys were black, but some were white. She was shown a color photograph of a boy and identified that boy as being one of the boys on the plane. She could not recall his name, unfortunately.
Damn.
She indicates that she was coerced to going on the trip by Barbara Webb, which she was the relative that was given the child by Larry King. She indicates that she attended a party in Chicago with King and the male youths. She indicated George Bush was again present at the party in Chicago.
All this talk of trips and party makes me really want to fucking go do something.
Yeah, well, as long as George Bush is there.
As long as it ain't like fucking kids or anything.
No, man, we're not doing that shit.
I did. Or actually,
Wait,
we did.
You did what?
No. Nothing about kids or anything.
Okay, go on.
We did secure our reservations for Mardi Gras this year.
Oh, Mardi Gras? Like New Orleans?
Hell yeah.
Shit, dude. Fucking have fun with that.
That's a bucket list, man.
God, yeah, you're going to see lots of titties.
We're gonna So anyway, I want to see my balls, and you're going to be at Mardi Gras. I'll bring some beads.
That'll be fun.
The smallest beads you can find.
Oh, man.
Good times.
I want someone to shove beads up my ass.
Those are anal beads.
If you want to shove beads up my ass, please send me an email, brohiopodcast@gmail.com. I'd love to hear from you.
Me too. I want to watch.
And kind of to close this segment of this episode, Euclid, Washington, like I said, hold on a second. I got to go back up here.
Yeah, man.
She indicated that she sat at a table at the party while wearing nothing but a negligee.
Ooh.
She stated that George Bush saw her on the table. She stated she saw George Bush pay Larry King cash, and that Bush left the party with a 19-year-old black boy named Brent. These are the eyewitness accounts of people that have passed polygraph tests, that have come forward.
I'm going to take this little boy. I need someone to wipe my butt. Oh, wait. This was George Bush in the 80s. Never mind.
People ask me if... I tell people, you don't know what I'm going through. You seen Barbara? It's an ugly bitch. Why did Barbara Bush always look 100? No matter...
She really did, man.
I remember, like, back in the 80s and shit, she looked 100.
Yeah,
and then when the bitch died, she looked 100.
Yeah, she could have been married to George Washington for all I fucking ever known.
George Washington.
That bitch had seen some shit.
She had definitely seen some shit. She just always looked like a dinosaur.
Do you think she fucked the little kids too?
No, I don't. I don't think
okay,
at all.
Good.
I think that this nasty
So you think Barbara was nice?
But George Bush Sr. is tied to the Skull and Bones.
Oh, yeah.
The Bohemian Grove, the Franklin Child scandal thing. There's people with firsthand accounts that...
He's tied to more things like this than any president that I can think of.
I would like to introduce you to William Bill Clinton. Who,
that's true, yeah.
In fact...
But they're one and the same. I mean, I feel like if one's involved... But I mean, maybe the Clintons have a heavier hand in it.
Bill Clinton is strictly linked to young girls, whereas George Bush is linked to young black males.
I guess that's true.
God,
yeah.
That's hot. So fucking hot. If someone sent you a link that said George Bush sucks black dick, I would click on the link just to see if it was real. Just to see if it were real. So that kind of, and to this day, Euclid, Washington, the girl that was given to the relatives of Larry King, she works with abused children that kind of have gone through the same thing that she went through. This is where this fucking shit starts to get really crazy.
I love how the one bullet point just says, God damn it.
I don't even remember why it says God damn it. Yeah.
This is all this bullet point says is, God damn it. You just needed one more space to fill, so you just threw a God damn it in there.
Oh, man.
I need to push this to 20 pages instead of 19.
Well, I don't know. I can't remember. I meant to read through this one more time after I typed it, but I did not.
That's so funny. It just says, God damn it.
After the allegations were brought forward. Okay, yeah, this is why I said God damn it,
Okay,
because this part right here, this part right here is so fucking fucked up. This is one of the most fucked up parts of the entire story.
So you're just setting yourself up for this
I
next
read
part.
this part, and I just said, God damn it, and I typed it down, and I
That's why
started
you
taking
did it.
all the notes.
Okay.
I remember exactly
All right,
what
you're
I
just
was
setting the
thinking.
tone for the moment.
So after the allegations were brought, so social services, they were the ones that fielded the complaint from Paul Bonacci.
Okay.
Paul Bonacci said these guys, Larry King, they got these boys at Boys Town. They're abusing these kids, these girls. They're doing all kinds of horrible shit to these fucking kids. Then the social services started going through their investigation. They also had the complaint from Euclid, Washington, who we just talked about. They could not cast out all of the allegations that were coming in. They had to do something about it. They couldn't just let this shit fucking roll and into the trash can and forget about it. They had to do something about it. So the social services, they obviously had to take this to the police, which would have been the right thing right off Jump Street, was to go to the police department and say, hey, we think these kids are getting hurt at Boys Town. These girls, these boys and girls, they're Boys Town, and they're being raped. They're being molested. They're being moved around the country. They're being bought by fucking politicians. So you turn it over to the police, right? Let the boys in blue do what they do. Well, in that moment, there are a lot of different directions that the police could have and should have went. If I'm that police department and I get those allegations, I don't walk to the front door of Boys Town. You boys raping kids in here? Well, absolutely not, officer. Actually, we just got done feeding them a 5-course meal of baked beans and hot dogs and corn chips. We like to make their stool nice and soft and mushy.
That's so nasty.
We like when they wake up in the morning, they leave big shitty grease stains on their sheets. Make them feel like they're not good enough to go out into the real world. Nasty boys in here. We don't let them shave their privates because that's too much power that they would have. How would you boys like your dick sucked by teenagers? There's all kinds of stuff that was going on at Boys Town, but the police, they did the worst thing possible. They did not perform an investigation. They didn't try and do an undercover sting. They didn't try and buy boys. They could have tried to buy children from Boys Town because those motherfuckers were all about money. The police could have got $500,000 counterfeit dollars from the Secret Service and done their investigation, bought a child, and then closed this thing up, locked the fucking door, closed this place down. No, they didn't do any of that shit. They went to the Father Valpeter, the head of Boys Town, and told Father Valpeter, they said, hey, we heard that there's kids in here getting raped. They're getting boogered. Bad things are happening to them.
Boogered.
Yeah. You ever been boogered before?
No. Don't someone picture those?
If you've ever been boogered, send us an email, brohiopodcast@gmail.com.
I want photographic proof.
Yeah, we want to see pictures of you getting boogered.
Send us your boogers.
Send us your boogers.
Oh, we're definitely going to get that we're definitely going to get that.
Yeah, man, boogers are fucking gross, though.
Dude, so nasty.
The worst thing I've experienced as an adult male is going into a urinal and seeing the multitude of boogers that guys wipe on the wall above the urinal. And if you're one of those guys out there that wipes your boogers on the wall when you're pissing,
at least shoot it into the urinal.
yeah, good for you, because I got a really small dick and I got to use both hands to piss right without pissing on myself. So I can't necessarily finagle boogers out of my nose and do all that stuff while I'm trying to. Good for you for having a big enough sausage to do that. But man, put that booger in your pocket or something.
Save it for later.
Yeah, man. Boogers taste good.
Yeah,
Just
I mean, you made them yourself. It's
Let
not-
her rip, Tater Chip. Hold that thing. Put it in a to-go baggie. Take it out of there with you.
Yeah, just pretend it's guac.
Guac. I love guac.
Fucking love it.
Yeah, man.
Just dip a chip in your pocket next time and scoop it up.
Or just leave the booger on the wall for the next guy.
Hey, yeah, fuck it.
Fuck it, man. So the police didn't do an investigation. They didn't do a sting. They went to the Father Valpeter, which is a fucking great name for a Catholic priest.
Wow.
God's like, what should we name him? Well, let's name him Peter, since that's all he's going to suck on while he's down there. And they went to Father Valpeter, and they said, hey, man, we heard the boys are getting fucking raped and molested, and the girls are getting raped and molested. They said, we really need you to look into this. And then Father Valpeter said, well, I've looked into your claims of abuse, and I've found no evidence of such occurrences. So if you boys could please let us alone to go on our way, I would greatly appreciate that. And according to Valpeter, the victims refused to talk.
Oh, okay.
The police said, wait. We got a lot of reports of bad stuff happening here. Are you sure that you properly investigated this? And Valpeter, he didn't say, yeah, I talked to everybody. Nothing's happening. He simply said, yeah, I talked to them. They won't talk. If that's not a glaring red flag if I've ever seen one.
For sure.
The cops should have said, wait a second, the kids aren't talking. Maybe they should try talking to the police department. This Father Valpeter that was probably molesting and touching kids himself.
Probably. Or turning a blind eye to it regardless.
This guy didn't do an investigation.
Nah.
He was hurting the kids too. The police dropped the ball big time, man.
Yeah, I mean, if you're not actively, putting an end to it, you're pretty much allowing it to happen at that point.
Yeah. It's fucking gross shit, dude. This is going to be a 3-hour episode.
It's okay.
Hope you guys
It's the
like
New Year's.
So at this point, Larry King remains a free man because all of the allegations against him are unfounded.
Okay.
1988, a routine review by Nebraska State Foster Care Review Board revealed something unusual. According to State Foster Care Review Board Director Carol Stitt, which rhymes with tit.
And shit.
And shit. The information presented to the Foster Care Review Board, either via the telephone reports, the personal reports, or the reports reviewed, Larry King's name was consistently present as someone the youth were making allegations against. She kept digging and was uncovering prominent people in the government and media. She was turning over all the information she was receiving to the proper authorities. She recalls one, oh, God damn it. This Nebraska State Foster Care Review Board. She was doing an audit of their records. This board director, Carol Stitt. And she sees all of these allegations against Larry King and how this guy was never tried in a court of law, how there was never anything that was furthered more than just, I guess, receiving the initial complaint for the children involved. She recalls one call placed directly to her home the night before she testified before the legislative committee, where she was going to testify and say, hey, we got to do some digging because this guy, Larry King, he's doing bad shit. He's got these kids. These children are being moved around the country. They're being raped and molested. She received a phone call the night before she was supposed to testify, in which the caller bluntly said, all the caller said was, if you speak, you won't live to regret it.
Oh, fuck.
She received that ominous phone call the night before she was due to sit in front of a legislative committee to give her testimony on the findings that she was finding in the Foster Care Review Board records.
I'd have been like,
Someone called her in the dead of the night and said, don't fucking do this shit or you're going to die.
yeah, I'd have been like, say you mean it.
I'm like,
Please end it all. Please end it.
take me out of my fucking misery.
Is that all I have to do?
This
That's wild. That's crazy.
Yeah, man. And to this day, the lead investigators in Omaha claim they never heard anything about the accusations.
No.
But Stitt is convinced the case was never pursued because the perpetrators included some of the richest and most powerful people in Omaha, including the Omaha Police Department.
The most richest and powerful people in Omaha.
But that's the thing, dude. You don't think there's rich people in Omaha?
I'm sure there is, but
look at this. This
knows?
Boys Town is still around right now, man.
Shit.
As recently as 2016, they had over $1 billion in assets. So there's some rich people in Omaha.
Is Nebraska in the Ozarks?
I think it's close, dude.
There's a lot of fucking hidden money out there.
All those states out there in the middle of the United
of the
States
U.S., yeah,
are
the plains
blowing up right now.
Yeah.
Because the goddamn the Jellystone show.
Jellystone. I still need to watch that.
John Dutton. I just started the newest season, but
I need to watch a new show. We even started watching a new show.
it's good.
Yeah.
Started from the beginning. It's on Paramount Plus, which is like $5 a month.
Yeah, I got Paramount.
It's on there, man. It's good.
Okay.
But these houses in Montana right now, a fucking Cracker Shack is $300,000 in Montana right now because of this Jellystone show.
Man.
$300,000 for Cracker, and they're calling it the San Francisco of the Middle America. What, I don't know, but all these people are migrating from California to Montana, Nebraska, Omaha, Salt Lake City, all these places that.
Completely unrelated, but we did go see No Way Home, and it was fucking amazing.
Oh yeah, I saw it too.
Yeah, with no spoilers. But
No
yeah,
spoilers.
That's a fucking great movie.
Let's talk about it after we're done.
For sure, yeah. Please, let's. Very good movie.
Now, as part of their investigation, authorities were targeting Larry King's lavish spending habits. We talked about it before. The guy was making $17,000 a year.
He's fucking banking.
And he was spending about $6 million a year. He was purchasing private planes, luxurious automobiles, and extravagant homes, including one in Washington, D.C.
Yes, this dude's getting money somewhere.
Oh,
Obviously, he's not getting it from his fucking day
Getting
job.
his pockets greased somehow.
Yeah.
The IRS became involved, which everyone loves them.
Womp womp.
They launched an investigation, and on April 11th, 1988, the Franklin Credit Union was raided by the Federal Bureau of Investigations.
Oh, man.
As a result of the investigation, King was found to have stolen nearly $40 million.
Oh, God. Oh, shit.
He stole $40 million from the credit union. He was indicted on 40 criminal counts, including conspiracy, fraud, and embezzlement. And in 1991, King was convicted, and the Franklin Credit Union collapsed.
Dude, that's where these fucking people get hemmed up, is that they go way beyond what they fucking need to. You know what I could do with $40 million?
Buy a plane. Buy kids.
Dude.
You could buy new kids.
Yeah.
You tell your kids, like, listen, motherfucker. You know who I am. I'm Rob from Brohio Podcast. But if I decide I don't like you anymore, I will just buy a new one.
Yeah.
And I don't feel bad about it. There's two other ones besides you.
I'll put your ass in the system.
Yeah, I'll put you.
I'll get another one that'll be more fucking.
I'm sending you to Boys Town. Throw your kids in the shit when you get home. Let me know how it goes.
Throw them with Boys Town.
Yeah.
Like, these fucking kids will be more appreciative.
At the same time the FBI started their investigation, the state of Nebraska launched their own independent investigation into the credit union. An investigative committee was created, and Senator Lauren Schmidt, who was
no relation to me.
No, Lauren Schmidt was actually a man. You're not.
That's literally this. That's the same spelling, unless it mistakenly spelled it that way. That's not how the name's usually spelled. It's usually spelled with the D.
Yeah.
And mine doesn't have a D. Just like me, I don't have one.
No D.
There's no D in my last name.
Just like my last name, I ain't got no D.
Yeah, that's weird, man. Maybe I am distantly related to this person.
Maybe you're from Boys Town. Maybe that's why you always have loose stools.
Maybe. It could be.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So Mr. Lauren Schmidt wisely followed the money trail, and in no time found it led directly to the original allegations of child abuse. Schmidt released a 3-page report urging the subcommittees to, quote, find out where the money went and you'll find the rest.
Oh.
As an example, Schmidt cited a $2,800 credit card receipt that showed Larry King purchased an expensive coat for a young man. However,
how did they know it was for a young man?
Because the man the coat was bought for was later found shot to death.
Oh, fuck.
His death was ruled a suicide.
Oh, he was suicided.
In the coat.
Okay. That's a dead giveaway.
Almost as soon as Schmidt began his investigation, anonymous threats began to arrive at his office. Mr. Schmidt said, I received a phone call on the floor of the legislature. The caller did not identify himself, but he said, Lauren, you do not want to have anything to do with the investigation of the Franklin Credit Union. And I asked who I was speaking to, And they said that it doesn't matter, but you shouldn't have that investigation. I said, why not? And he said, it will reach to the highest levels of the Republican Party, and we're both good Republicans.
Is there such a thing?
No, there's not.
There's no such thing as a good Republican or a
Donald
good
J. Trump was the best thing we ever. They goddamn had being Republican. Drain the swamp. Yeah, that's what I do when I'm shit in the water, too. I get the turd out. You know, I keep my turds because I don't like to give Joe Biden the satisfaction to know that I'm pooping in his water. Now, if Donald Trump comes president again, I'll poop in that water because, you know, I'll respect Trump. I'd respect his water. I'll poop in his water. But as long as Joe Biden president, I'm not washing my dick or pooping in the water.
It's funny because you think it'd be the complete opposite. I'm going to fill Biden's water with my turds.
I want all these snowflakes to smell my dick when I walk by. I can't, dude.
Oh, man, this is like 60% of our population.
I know it is. Fucking knuckle draggers.
Let's go, Brandon.
Better get my cat vaccinated.
Oh, man, I love all you people.
But the lovable part about me is I see both sides of every argument.
I do too. I do too.
I think
I vote a specific way, but it's not because I'm that way.
No,
it's because it benefits me more.
I just don't fucking care.
I don't either.
I love everybody.
Everybody is equally fucked in the U.S. government the same exact way.
Come sit on daddy's lap.
They all want to fuck kids.
Yeah, they all do.
Guess who doesn't?
Yeah.
We don't.
We don't.
President Nick, Vice President Rob.
Oh, dude,
let's fucking take it.
Yeah. I wrote the Dayton Daily News and said they needed to do an article on us, and I haven't heard back yet.
That's never going to happen.
So listen here, you fucking butt munchers.
Oh, shit. Yeah. I mean, there's no reason why they shouldn't.
Dayton Daily News?
Yeah.
They're motherfuckers, dude.
Their fucking newspaper's not selling.
They just did an article about the podcast that came in third place on the
Jesus Christ, dude.
That's cool, man.
They've accumulated 100 downloads
No,
this
they
year.
haven't. I don't think they haven't, dude. They haven't.
And we haven't heard a fucking peep.
No.
I love it, man.
I sent a picture of like our stats, and it was like dozens of millions.
It's just funny that like a dirty podcast can't get any sort of recognition.
It's all right.
Whenever you're pushing out more numbers than anybody.
It's all right. We still love each other. That's all that matters.
I know, but it's one of those things.
It's maddening. Now they did hire during this investigation. They hired private investigators. The Nebraska Legislative Committee hired former Nebraska State Patrolman Gary Caradori and Carrie Ormiston to act as private investigators for the case. They are instructed to ignore rumors and gossip and focus only on hard facts with solid supporting evidence behind them. Almost immediately, they found new victims of the pedophile sex ring, and each told the exact same story as the victims from Boys Town 3 years earlier. According to Karen Ormiston, quote, they were telling us about prominent people in Omaha and elsewhere that were abusing children at parties. Senator Schmidt said he knew many of the people on the list, and he was shocked by their names. As former State Patrolman Gary Caradori, who was the private investigator, uncovered more and more victims of the powerful group, he began to suspect that someone of great importance was doing their best to closely watch and disrupt his investigation. Conclusive evidence that he was being monitored came when his wife, Sandy, a middle school English teacher, told him an old friend who worked for Lincoln Telephone Company came to their house and informed her that their fucking phones were being tapped. For what reason, nobody knows. But when an old buddy from the phone company stops by and says, hey, bitch, your phone's tapped, that means somebody someone's very, very important is trying to monitor you and keep the thumb on you.
Oh, yeah.
Investigator Caradori pushed on and interviewed many witnesses. Paul Bonacci said he was a victim and was flown all over to work at sex parties. He claimed the sex parties grew in intensity. He said he was tied up and other children were forced to sexually abuse him. Ooh. People put cigarettes out all over his body.
Oh,
and
God.
During the interviews with Caradori, Caradori noted all of the cigarette burn scars all over Paul Bonacci's body. Then there were the witnesses that investigator Caradori, and I can't make these names up.
The first one.
Poor
guy.
The first witness besides Paul Bonacci was Troy Boner.
Hey, his name's very forthcoming. You know what you're getting when you're dealing with Troy.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Maybe it's Bonner. No, it can't be Bonner because it'd be two N's.
You're right. It's Boner.
That's definitely Boner. That poor guy.
Boner. Troy Boner.
He probably pronounces it something fucking flashy like Boehner or something.
Boner.
Boehner.
Boner.
That's like super German.
Boner.
It's like Borat.
What's your last name? Boner. Boner. He was introduced by Alan Baer when he was 17 years old. So he was the one, Alan Baer was the one that said, hey, I got this guy named Larry King that I can fucking hook you up with. Alan Baer was a wealthy businessman from Omaha that owned Bandera's department store chain. I never fucking heard of that.
Nope.
And Troy Boner, Baer witnessed and said that Alan Baer was a sick man that took sex however he could get it. Then one of the next people interviewed was Danny King. Danny King says that he, along with Troy Boner, attended many... Who are you going to the party with? Oh, Troy Boner. Says that along with Troy Boner, attended many of the parties Larry King threw in the penthouse of Omaha's Twin Towers, and like the others, says he was sexually abused at the parties. Danny corroborated testimony from not only Paul Bonacci, but a witness who provided a stunningly vivid recollection of the events, and that is Alicia Owen. We're going to move on to Alicia Owen right now.
Let's move on.
Because in terms of the facts, this girl remembered everything. She remembered the placement of furniture. She remembered where the walls turned in the hotel. She remembered where the doors were. She remembered everything, man. Alicia Owens came from a strong Christian family, but fell into the wrong crowd at 14 years old. This led to relationships with several rowdy boys from Boys Town. Alicia told investigators that she was heavily involved in pedophilic activity with a variety of high-profile politicians, businessmen, and Omaha city leaders, including Larry King. She also provided investigators with an extensive list of victim names, many of which later validated her accusations against Larry King. Alicia also said that she first became involved with Mr. King in 1983 when she was just 14 years old. She met Larry King through some of the boys from Boys Town, primarily Jeff Hubble, who invited her to one of Larry King's parties in August of 1983. Sorry, man.
Oh, man, you're good.
Alicia arrived at the Twin Towers, now Swanson Towers, at 8405 Indian Hills Drive in Omaha, Nebraska. This is a penthouse apartment with Jeff Hubble and Troy Boner. She says drugs were freely available at the party and teens could play bartender and have any drink that they wanted when they were attending bar at the penthouse.
Damn.
Yeah,
that's a lot of...
I'd be getting fucked up and sucking everybody's dick.
Bro. I'd be drinking fucking crazy shit like fucking Goldschlager or
Hot
something.
Damn, Fireball.
Hot Damn.
You ever have Hot Damn?
Yeah, man.
Oh, dude.
That was a fucking Fireball before Fireball was a thing.
That was the original fire. It
was, yeah.
Dude, it was. What do they still make it?
They have to. I don't know. I feel like Fireball has that market cornered.
I haven't seen it, man.
Yeah.
Hot.
There was several cinnamon whiskeys that were De Querper. That's Cincinnati, isn't it? Or they were in Cincinnati.
I think so. Yeah, they still make it.
Damn.
It's only $15 a bottle.
Oh, that's the Walmart like bottom
This
shelf.
is the shit that kills kids right here, man. Hot damn. We gotta go get some.
Oh man, yeah.
I get so fucking drunk. Get drunk and fuck the cat, just like when I was 14. She described a party called 501. Alicia did that they played the party where the children took turns unbuttoning each other's pants, 501 jeans, with their teeth and toes while the adults watched.
What? Wait. Hang on. What?
It's the 501 game. Not like
Wow.
darts. They're a 501 game for darts.
I don't fucking know.
They would take turns unbuttoning each other's pants with their teeth and toes while the adults watched.
Okay.
She says that when it was her turn, she balked. The adults pressure her to play by teasing her, saying maybe she's just a little girl and shouldn't be here.
Oh, so they're fucking yeah.
Pieces of shit's what they were.
Yeah, they're getting the old negs in.
Yeah, but Alicia Owens had the most precise testimony out of anybody. She detailed hotel locations with door locations, victims, how furniture was arranged. Over the next few years, Alicia says she attended many sex parties at the Twin Towers penthouse apartment. She says she typically received money, about $50, from participants at the party, and occasionally they would take her out and buy her expensive clothes. She claims many photographs and videos of the pedophile acts were taken. She also said that the parties were moved to various nightclubs in Omaha, but then also in terms of her recollection of the events, she knew flight numbers, stopovers and layovers, flight times, hotels, baggages, and the names of various fucking flight attendants.
This is the person that you want on the side of crime fighting.
It is. She remembered everything, dude.
Man, I'm the person you want on the other end where you can't remember fucking shit.
And there's a former airplane charter service employee. It was I think he was a flight attendant. Recalled Larry King using the charter service on a weekly basis. Damn. She said he routinely traveled with a number of young men who were very good looking, clean cut, and clean shaven. She recalled they never spoke on the flight, which she found extremely odd. Caradori obtained hundreds of flight itineraries from 2 charter services, but few had passenger manifests or lists of persons on the flight, and thus the names of the young men could not be determined. He noted, however, that most flights were to Washington, D.C. Okay. A Boys Town police officer says he observed a vehicle registered to Larry King on the Boys Town property many times during his employment from 1985 through 1987. In one instance, he approached his superior to ask about Larry King constantly being on the Boys Town property, and the superior said, "Leave it alone." After Schmidt's investigation reached a threshold of suspicion, he was told to turn over all evidence to the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the FBI. The media, quote, the media immediately started trying to discredit the witnesses, painting them as criminals. Troy Boner.
Why you laugh every time you say
it's okay, man. Mr. Boner says he was told by the authorities that if he went forward with his testimony, he was going to jail for perjury.
Ooh.
Troy Boner says he then realized they believed nothing of what he was telling him. Out of fear, Troy Boner recanted the story and began working with the investigators to convince other victims to recant their stories as well, particularly the heavy hitter in this case, Alicia Owens, who would eventually be charged with 8 counts of perjury. Ooh. In an attempt to trap Alicia in lies, the FBI put a fucking wire on Troy Boner and made Troy Boner call Alicia in the dead of the night and talk to her. And this was in an attempt to trap Alicia, but the plan backfired for him. So this is the context of the conversation. You want to be Alicia and I'll be Troy Boner?
Hell yeah! Let me see your.
You're Owen
Boner. Okay, there you go.
You concocted this whole thing, Alicia.
So I'm a girl, right?
Yep. Yes, please.
You're full of shit. Who the hell do you have listening on this phone call?
I have nobody listening to me.
I'll be honest with you. I don't know what kind of game you're playing here.
I'm not playing any game here.
I don't know who you have listening to this phone caller.
You're being stupid, Alicia. I'm not going to go to jail for you, and that's what's going to happen.
Why would you go to jail? For telling the truth?
No, for lying.
What have you lied about?
I haven't lied.
Okay, but then why are you...
Listen, shut up. Listen to me. You're not out here being talked to them every day. The pressure's kind of hard. That was very odd.
Yeah.
The FBI is like trying to get her to recant her story, and they're like, fuck. The guy on the truck's like, God damn it, turn off the tape. Turn the fucking tape off. She's telling the truth about everything. Because that was the problem. That Troy Boner initially came out and said, yes, I'm a child sex slave. But then somebody got in his ear and said, hey, motherfucker, take it back or we're going to cut your fucking throat. So he's like, God damn it, that's some scary ass shit. I'm making this stuff up. And they're like, yeah, goddamn right you're making it up. Now let's call Alicia and nail her to the wall. And Alicia says, I'm telling the fucking truth. Why are you calling me changing your story? We both know the truth here. So that kind of backfired in the FBI's face.
Womp womp.
While the FBI media and authorities were attempting to discredit the victim's testimony, private investigators Gary Caradori and Karen Ormiston say they continued to receive anonymous threats, including death threats. Ormiston claims that Caradori's car was tampered with several times, an act that she believes was meant as a threat since the tampering attempts were so blatantly obvious. On July 11th, 1990, during the middle of the investigation, Gary Caradori and his 8-year-old son, Ajay, were returning from a Chicago All-Stars baseball game aboard a private plane. Caradori had been pursuing new leads at the time, and according to his wife, Caradori told her that while in Chicago, he intended to meet with photographer Rusty Nelson.
Oh, these names, I love it.
He was going to meet with Rusty Nelson to obtain incriminating pedophilic photographs of the abuse.
Something everyone wants to see.
Not necessarily did he wanted to see it, but it was going to be the
proof.
It was going to be the nail in the coffin for his investigation.
Yep.
Upon returning from the game, Caradori's private plane crashed in a remote cornfield, killing Gary and his young son. The wreckage was spread over a large area, indicating that the airplane had somehow broken up in flight. Federal investigators were never able to determine what tore the plane apart in midair.
Don't you love how many convenient things happen in situations like this?
Fucking bomb, dude. It was so easy. I mean,
yeah, look at Epstein, man. I mean, fuck.
Yeah, he's gone. I'm sure he is.
He conveniently committed suicide.
Strangely missing from the wreckage and never found was Caradori's personal briefcase, which had many suspect contained the incriminating photographs obtained from old Rusty Nelson. Within 48 hours of the crash, the FBI delivered a subpoena to Caradori's widow, demanding she turn over all of her husband's evidence related to the Franklin investigation. According to Caradori's brother, quote, "I really believe that somebody killed my brother, and may God help those that did that to him and his family." Troy Boner says the airplane crash and murder of Gary Caradori produced a profound impact on him. Just before the perjury trial of Alicia Owen, Boner, again, recanted his recantation.
Damn.
So he took back his take back.
My dude can't stay by anything he fucking says.
But that, for the people that are trying to cover up this story, that's exactly what they wanted. This fucking kid keeps changing this goddamn story. No one's going to listen to him bear witness. So 6 months later, on January 10th, 1991, his Troy Boner's brother, Sean, died in an inexplicable gun accident. Boner was convinced that he and his family had been sent a warning message. He decided once again to keep his mouth shut.
Couldn't wet your whistle there.
Falling apart over here.
You're good, man. You're doing a lot of talking.
Shortly after the plane crash that killed Gary Caradori and the gun accident that killed Troy's brother, Sean Boner, the Nebraska legislative investigation was mysteriously shut down. The grand jury threw out the Franklin case, labeling it a carefully crafted hoax. All those witnesses that came forward and had the exact same fucking story said, you know what? We're going to throw this case out. All these motherfuckers are lying. This is a quote from an author of the book. I believe it's the Franklin Scandal. "I can't find a case in the history of this country where some kid got sentenced to 25 or 30 years in prison for something like this. If you're going to pick a tell sign, something that says there's something fishy about this whole thing, it was this sentencing itself." 3 months later, Larry King was sentenced to 15 years for the $40 million fraud case. So this child, Alicia Owen, that was found guilty of perjury, was sentenced to 25 to 30 years for perjury as a teenager. Larry King embezzled $40 million and was sentenced to 15 years. Do you think that makes sense?
Don't you love math?
Yeah.
Makes no fucking sense.
It was clear that parts of the relationship that were edited out were eerily similar and could have been, I think I missed a part here. Okay. during the investigation where they recovered, because the Caradori had all these tapes that he'd accumulated over time. And when they finally played the tapes, much of the incriminating things in the tapes had been edited out. So then the people that would say, okay, let's file charges, like, here are these tapes, are like, nothing really incriminating in here. That's because somebody had gone through and edited out all the juicy shit in these tapes. It says here, it was clear that parts of their testimony that were edited out were eerily similar and would have been nearly impossible to conspire to make up. Specific details such as airlines taken during their travels to parties, where they sat, where their flights were switched, where layovers were, and how long each leg of the flights were. Boner was immediately subpoenaed upon releasing the information. Someone high up was hinted to be a part of... I can't remember why I put this part here.
Oops.
Okay. I don't think it was that important. So we moved back to Paul Bonacci, and he did continue to go forward with his testimony against the Boys Town abusers. He took, so there was another investigator named DeCamp. During the investigation, he took DeCamp, which is an investigator, and other investigators to Washington, D.C., where he pointed out the home that Larry King used for the pedophile sex parties. The house was large, immaculate home on D.C.'s Embassy Row. Bonacci explained that at first he was flown to parties a few times each year. Soon he was being flown to Washington, D.C. about once a month. He noted that oftentimes the parties began as legitimate political parties, but after many of the politicians had left, the sex party would then begin. Bonacci says that one of the abusers had close ties to the upper echelons of the American government, powerful Washington lobbyist Craig Spence. Oh my God, this is so fucking good right here. Whew. This is good stuff. Remember that name, Craig Spence.
All right.
According to Bonacci, Larry King took youngsters on midnight tours of the White House with the help of Craig Spence and Secret Service insiders.
Oh, man.
So what better of a way to get a fucking kid or a teenager to come to a party and just suck everybody's balls from the backside and just say, not only am I going to give you $50, but tonight at midnight, I'm going to take you on a tour of the fucking White House. How cool would that be as like a young teenager?
I'd be sucking some balls.
I'd be sucking all the balls.
Sure. Every ball that's there. It's in my mouth.
To go, just like go on a fun little tour of the White House in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
And you're probably thinking to yourself, because we got a lot of skeptics that listen to this podcast, they're probably saying, no one just goes on a fucking tour of the White House in the middle of the night. And you might be right. Now, I think that would be pretty noticeable if someone just showed up and said, hey, I'm taking these kids on a tour. I know it's midnight. Don't think this is weird. It's definitely not weird.
Nothing weird about this.
Insider access for pedophile predators, no less, to the most secure home in the country seemed beyond belief. However, in 1989, the Washington Times confirmed that Craig Spence, this was public record.
Oh, shit.
It arranged at least 4 midnight tours of the White House, including one on June 29th, 1988. On the records that they uncovered,
wow,
it said that he took his 15-year-old son with him, even though he didn't have a 15-year-old son.
His 15-year-old son.
Yes. The Times also discovered a Secret Service agent assigned to the midnight shift at the White House had been furloughed.
Yeah.
They found that he was interrogated for more than 10 hours as armed agents with search warrants searched his home for nearly 2 hours.
Oh, man.
Craig Spence's involvement in the affair seemed to be the investigators' golden egg, though. Spence's true involvement, however, would never be known. In early November, only 4 months after the allegation surfaced, Spence committed suicide inside the Boston Ritz-Carlton Hotel. His suicide note, written with a black felt tip marker on the mirror of his room, read, "Chief, consider this my resignation, effective immediately."
Yeah, I mean, you don't really have to say that if you kill yourself.
Yeah.
I mean,
As
they
you-
kind of assume.
As you always said, you can't ask others to make a sacrifice if you're not ready to do the same. Life is duty. God bless America.
So patriotic.
God damn it, man.
My suicide note would not be that patriotic.
Well, I don't necessarily think it's patriotic. I think it was more of like a mockery. It was more of him
okay, that makes sense.
In the face of government, him saying, "You asked me to do bad fucking shit,
Yeah.
and I did it, and here I am
And I'm
alone in
tired
a
of it."
hotel with a fucking gun to my head."
Okay, that makes sense.
The Conspiracy of Silence documentary, which was the documentary that started all of this, which exposed the horrific events surrounding the Franklin scandal, was set to air on March 3rd, 1994 on the Discovery Channel. According to reports just prior to airing, an unnamed congressman threatened the TV cable industry with restrictive legislation. Soon after, the rights to the documentary were purchased by unnamed persons who ordered all copies of the film be destroyed. To date, only a pre-release copy of the show exists. Leaked copies can be found on the internet. So you can actually find a 1-hour copy of the documentary on YouTube. It's kind of, you got to dig a little bit, but it's there.
Okay, cool.
The aftermath of all of this, Troy Boner, although Troy Boner went into hiding and was not heard from for several years, he would later arrive at a New Mexico hospital claiming the Franklin abusers were, quote, after him. He was immediately admitted and sedated. The following day, upon being admitted and sedated, he was found dead inside of his hospital room. Isn't that fucking wild, dude?
R.I.P. Boner.
R.I.P. getting ripped tonight. I'm getting killed tonight. Larry King, in April 2001, was released from prison. It's believed he resides somewhere on the East Coast. Hopefully he's fucking dead. Hopefully he died in that snowstorm the other day in Virginia. Boys Town continues to prosper and now has locations in 12 regions across the country: California, Nevada, Texas, Nebraska, Iowa, Louisiana, North Florida, Central Florida, South Florida, Washington, D.C., New York, and New England.
What's wrong with all you fuckers?
You fucking kid fuckers.
Storm these places. Shut them down.
Now, Paul Bonacci, despite being accused of lying and serving prison time for 3 counts of perjury, Paul Bonacci filed a civil suit against Larry King, and he won and was awarded a judgment of $1 million.
Good luck.
So much like O.J. Simpson, we believe that O.J. Simpson is guilty of murder, right?
For sure, 100%.
But he was found not guilty in a court of law.
He's
but
guilty. There's no way.
Civil case brought against him. He was found guilty in the civil case. Same thing for Paul Bonacci and Larry King.
If I would have did it.
Yeah, exactly.
What a fucking piece of shit he was.
You know, he still is.
He's still a piece of shit.
Funny dude, but he's a piece of shit.
Oh, yeah, he sucks.
While in prison for perjury, Bonacci's testimony was further validated by an incredible story that turned out to be one of the most notorious kidnapping cases in the country. In July of 1991, just as the sentencing of Alicia Owen wrapped up, news broke in Iowa that Paul Bonacci had given evidence involving the disappearance of Johnny Gotch. The disappearance of 20-year-old Johnny Gotch, he was a 12-year-old that had been missing since September 5th, 1982. On that date, an early Sunday morning, he left his routine Des Moines, Iowa registered newspaper delivery route and then disappeared. For 9 years, his parents searched the country for him. This fucking kid was gone for 9 years.
That's crazy.
In late 1990, the Gotch family got the first major break in years because of what Paul Bonacci remembered seeing during the Boys Town abuse atrocities. Recalling Bonacci's testimony, John DeCamp noted that one of the events Paul described reminded him of the case of Johnny Gotch. He confirmed the similarity of the details of the case and then contacted the Gotch family. The Des Moines, Iowa Register of July 24th, 1991 reported on what developed. Quote, a Nebraska inmate has provided details about the abduction of Johnny Gotch that only someone with first-hand knowledge would have had, his lawyer said Tuesday. Inmate Paul Bonacci's account did not match up. Paul Bonacci's account did not match up 90%, did not match up 95%, not 98%, but his account matched up 100%.
Wow.
John DeCamp said, I'm convinced this kid is telling absolutely the truth. He never varied on the time. He gave a description of Johnny's pants, names on his shirt, scars on the body.
Damn.
Yes, DeCamp said he became suspicious of a Gotch connection when he read a transcript of a psychiatrist interview with Bonacci in which an incident involving a newspaper carrier was mentioned. DeCamp said Bonacci didn't identify Gotch by his full name. I quote, I went to the library and checked on Johnny Gotch. I wrote to the Gotches and told them, I don't know if there's any validity, but the dates coincide, and he talks about someone from Iowa. DeCamp said John Gotch, the boy's father, went to prison and met Bonacci, and Bonacci started getting chills because the moment that he saw John Gotch, he knew that he was the father of Johnny Gotch because how eerily similar they looked to one another, especially their eyes.
Damn.
Johnny Gotch was unfortunately never found. But Paul Bonacci in the media, in the dirt sheets here, he's labeled as a fucking lying crook snake that made all this shit up. But it just so happens his story corroborates with many other stories. And the abduction of Johnny Gotch kind of goes hand in hand with someone that he met during his infinite travels of sexual abuse, sexual molestation, going back and forth to these fucking parties. That, my friends, is the Franklin child scandal.
How far in are we?
Not that far. Not as far as you'd think we are.
Yeah.
Hour and a half.
Oh, damn.
It's because we cut out the bullshit in the beginning.
That's true.
But
still a good, healthy episode.
And
good way to kick off the new year.
Yeah, and it does go a little bit deeper than what we. There's possibly some things that tie it to modern day, but what ties it to modern day for me is this Boys Town has done nothing but grow.
Yeah, just like you said, it's done nothing but prosper.
And there's billions of dollars attached to the name, so we're still doing the shit, man.
It's fucking wild, man.
I'm gonna fucking cut my wrist
right now. That's a good knife.
I know I got it.
It's pretty.
It's a Gerber. I got it on the Lightning deal for $10. Just don't touch the
Nice.
fucking blade. But god damn, it's a big.
You know I'm gonna touch the blade.
Yeah, it is sharp.
Damn, that is sharp.
You shave with it right now. You're gonna chop your arm off.
Oh, no joke.
Yeah. It's a good
Yeah,
knife.
that's a fucking good knife.
Well, the other episode I was torn on this week, I thought about doing the Ariel Castro, the guy that abducted the girls.
Yeah.
Started doing the research on that, but my heart was really pulling me towards this Franklin scandal thing, and I'm glad we covered this. I've been mulling us covering this for a long time, so it's this could have been a boring topic for some people, but these are just one of those stories that, as a conspiracy podcast, we have to tell at some point, So
For sure. Got to bring light to things like this. Fuck.
It's nasty shit, dude.
It is nasty, and it's like the underbelly of the shit that nobody wants to talk to and
we don't
admit to
know
what's happening. And yeah, with all that's going on with fucking Jizzy's trial and everything, and
everything that's not going on with it.
Yeah, everything. Yeah, exactly. This is a good time to mention and bring awareness to anything like this.
Yeah, I fucking hate it, dude.
I can't stand it. It's disgusting.
But I'll tell you what I don't hate.
You listening.
I love you, but
I love you.
The Cincinnati Bengals are the 2000
Holy shit, AFC North
fucking champions.
Holy shit.
I was celebrating in my fucking living room. I've already got tickets to their first playoff game.
Man, I think Joe Burrow is the quarterback that we thought Andy Dalton should have been.
No way. Not even fucking close, dude. Not even. They are not even the same.
No, I mean, they're not, but we thought Andy Dalton was going to be the savior.
I thought I hated that motherfucker from the
Did
moment
you really?
Yes, I
Oh, dude, I thought he was going to be the man.
I thought Carson Palmer was going to be the second coming of Christ.
Dude, Carson Palmer was amazing, though.
He was a dog. But Joe Burrow is a cold-blooded motherfucking assassin, dude.
We have a history. We'll see what happens with the first game of the playoffs. We are notorious for booting out the first fucking round of the playoffs.
Yeah, they haven't won a playoff game since 1990.
Yeah, exactly. So if Burrow can pull it through the first round, I think we're good. It was our division looked fucking rough this year too. Yeah. What the fuck happened to the Steelers?
Ben Roethlisberger.
Last season, man.
Sucks, man.
Raplesberger.
Raper burger. A lot of Steelers fans out there. So.
That dude's like 400 pounds, so he should be a quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, he
did
served
good
his purpose,
time.
man. He's a Hall of Fame quarterback.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Enough about football. You like eating out. You want to eat me out. Rob out.
Please me.
Cool, man.
I need to get eaten
Buy
out.
you a McChicken.
Oh, dude, you got to do dirty things for me, chicken.
I had Five Guys for dinner, and it was so good.
Oh, okay, the food place. Okay. Like, damn, that's very optimistic there.
All right. We love you guys. We'll talk to you soon.
Maybe we'll just disappear off the face of the earth.
No, so our ad revenue drops a lot in January. So the only way for us to get paid is to do a lot of episodes.
So you guys may get inundated.
You might get a daily Brohio podcast.
Yeah, I'm literally this close to getting my wife to do an episode.
All right.
I'm like,
bring her in.
I'm like one ball hair away. So if everybody donates their ball hairs,
Rob doesn't have ball hair.
And trust, no, I don't. I haven't had ball hair since I was like fucking 13. So trust me, it'd probably be a really good episode. So
nasty.
There you go.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Love you guys.
That's it.
All right, YouTube.
That's it. You want to do a Zoom or no?
Sure.
We're at 9:16. We'll talk to you guys soon.
Love you guys.
See what the